Hey everyone, Sinzer here, and welcome to a live video. Now in this video I'm just going to go over the Imperial China, kind of a disciple guide. So as you can see I just picked up this key item. Um, there's going to be spoilers in this video, so before I go any further I just wanted to make sure that you know this will be pretty heavy story spoilers. So you have been warned. Now moving on. For the Imperial China, you will be training 3 different disciples. Now, if you've played it before, or if you don't care about spoilers, you would know that you only get to have one at the end, and the other 2 will die. Now, which one you get actually will be determined by the first disciple you pick up. So in this case, I am choosing Ewan. And in order to get Ewan first, you have to go to the forest, like I showed at the beginning of the video, pick up the tuft, and then go and then talk to that lady, which will have Ewan come out. You'll see the bullies, and then you just, you come in attack. Now, it's important because he's actually the hardest to get, especially if you do not know how it works and how the disciple training works, because you have to do all that, then you have to do this fight here. And then after you complete this fight, then you will get a choice to talk to him afterwards, which I'll show in just a second. Now, after the fight is over, you will be able to talk to Yuan after you talk to these other people. I'm just skipping this because I've done it all. Now, to get him immediately, you just say, "I'm afraid I must decline," instead of sigh. And then after that, you'll get the option to talk to him again, and then take him as your disciple. Now, if you pick the Psy option, then he will just go away, and he won't actually be there. But you can still pick him up later. If you decide to do the Psy option, you just go back towards the starting area, and then you'll see Yuan waiting for you, and then he'll ask you to become your disciple. So either way, that's how you can get him first. And again, whoever you choose first will be the surviving student at the end. Now I think Yuan is very good because he does start off at level 1, and he is pretty weak at the beginning, because Wong, for instance, starts at level 5, and then Lei starts at level 3, and each of them have different abilities, and Yuan signature abilities aren't really that great to begin with, but you'll see later on that he actually gets some pretty strong abilities. So I'm just going to go ahead and skip ahead a little bit. Alright, so after you've gotten Lei from the forest, then you can come back to the little village area and then give all those nature's providence to all the old people in the village, and you'll get, several different items. Now, you'll notice that once you get to the end, there will be one more elderly woman that does not have, that you don't have a nature's providence for her, but she actually doesn't need one. She just wants food, and you don't get anything from feeding her, so you can, but you're not going to get a reward for doing so, so you don't need to. But I would go ahead and give everybody else the nature's providence for the free items. Now when you go to the market, you will recruit Wong, and if you pick him first, then he'll be the remaining student. But the first 2 times that I did this, I actually immediately picked the "I'll see to the lad," and then I went into a fight. But this last time I did it, I didn't choose it at first. I chose the top option, then I chose it the second time, and I didn't go into a fight. So either way, you either will fight him or you won't, but it doesn't take much, and he's level 5. So quick recap on the different disciples. Yuan you get first by going to the forest to pick up a tuft of nature's providence, and then you go back to the little village to the south and give it to his grandma, which is marked by a flag on the little mini map radar in the bottom right corner. That'll lead to getting you in first, as long as you make the right choices, which I already showed earlier. To get Lei first, you go to the forest and you just keep going until you encounter her, and then tell her you have nothing for her, and then fight her. And in order to get Wong first, you go all the way to the market to the right, and then talk to him or fight him, and then you'll get Wong. Um, you'll see some of the abilities, but I'll go over a little bit. Um, Cat's Reproach for Lei is a signature ability. It's okay. It's not great, but it's it's a signature ability. Her strength is she's very fast. Other than that, she's not really great in terms of stats. Her abilities are okay as well. I mean, she does have one cool ability that she can use from pretty far away, but from my experience, it doesn't hit as often. Like, it's not it's not reliable, even though it's cool. Um, Wong, on the other hand, his strength is his defense, but he is extremely slow. So you definitely want to get speed stuff on him. But he does have an amazing defense. His special defense is pretty low, but his physical defense more than makes up for it. And when if you train him, he'll be faster. In my opinion, he has the most unique signature moves. He has a lot of different like cooking themed moves. He has this, and charged attacks. He has this pork stir fry move that like does a lot of damage, but it also gives him like a debuff. He has this charge move that goes pretty far across the map. He has different types of attacks. He's fun to use. But Ewan is my favorite. Again, he starts off pretty low. He has like desperation kick and this other like hard punch. Like, they're not really special, but when you put your training into them, they're pretty strong. And even when he levels up, he starts off low, but he gets this signature ice and fire attack later on that's pretty unique. Plus he also gets a lion's dismissal attack like the Shifu has, and so he can pretty much cover every type of attack. And Yuan's strength is actually his attack. He has a much higher physical attack and special attack. Now on to the training. This part right here is the training, and I decided to save just to check it out, because I was trying to see if you could actually save all of the students, and from my trials I don't think you can. So you are presented at this point with the option to train everybody, and I'm just going to skip the actual training part, but basically there are 3 different trainings, and I'm just going to have this combat in the background and gameplay. But essentially the very first training is all physical defense, and you can train 4 times for each of the 3 training sessions. Now you can spread that amongst all 3, but as I said before, you're going to lose 2 of them. So the only real correct way to do the training is to pick one person, which is the first person you picked. So I picked Ewan, so I'm going to use all my training on Ewan. So that gives each training for the first day gives 5 special defense, or not special defense, physical defense. So that's a total of 20 physical defense. Oh, real quick though, this section right here, after you go to the village the second time after all the training is done, just make sure you talk to everybody, because you'll get special items and special equipment. It's definitely worth talking to everyone to get all that stuff. Now back to the training explanation. The second day is speed training, so again, all into the same person, whoever you chose first at the beginning. That's 20 extra speed, and then the last day is physical attack, so 20 extra attack. So that gives you a total of 20 physical defense, 20 speed, and 20 physical attack, in addition to the experience that you get and levels that you will get. So yeah, that's really good. Now from my experience with Ewan, he will end up, if you put all of your training into him, he ends up at about 7 or 8, I can't remember exactly. And once you get towards the end of the game, you'll get into fights, and then he'll level up beyond that. So he'll definitely get to 10, and he can keep going, but you'll keep getting experience, but you won't actually be able to go past level 10, at least in this particular chapter. So at level 8 or 9, he learns this ice move. I can't remember the exact level, but like you'll like you can't miss it. So he'll learn this ice move, and then level 10, he learns a fire move. They're both pretty similar to each other. It's just obviously the different elements. So that's very nice, especially because one of the enemies that you fight at the end is weak to ice. There's actually one weak to fire as well, but um, it would be kind of hard to get to level 10 before you fight that person, and it's not that big of a deal. Now, again, Yuen has really high attack. Now, Yuen's attack and special attack is higher than the other two. Obviously, if you pick one to train, then you can get them higher, but he has the highest base attack of anybody. So you'll get the best potential, like maximum attack by picking Yuen. Also, his defenses aren't bad. He has better defenses than Lei, and even though he's not as fast as Lei, he's also much faster than Wong. So he's kind of like a jack of all trades, but even better, because he's pretty good at everything. He's not as good at speed as Lei. He's not as physically defensive as Wong, but he is physically and specially stronger. He does more damage than both of them, and his defenses are still decent enough that he's still good, and he is also not really slow. So it's just overall he is a better character than the rest of them. Of course, everybody has their own special attacks. I just prefer Yuen because not only is he stronger, he has a bigger variety of attacks, and you know, he has an ice and fire attack. So I think that's just really cool. So that's what I think is the best disciple to pick, and hopefully this video gave you a better idea on how the disciple training works, like why it's important to just pick one person, and why it's important to pick that person as your first disciple. Pick them up first so that you can have them at the end. So that's all for this video. If you liked it, please give a like, subscribe for future videos, and as always, thanks for watching.